This story takes place in a remote village in central Java back in the year 1976. Picture this. The village is so isolated, surrounded by majestic hills, cornfields, and lush teak forests. Every single evening, as the sun starts to set, all the kids are expected to hightail it back home. But even with strict rules in place, there are always those rebellious little rascals who just can't help themselves, damn it. One of them was an 8-year-old boy named Abdi. One evening, as the call to Maghrib prayer echoed through the village, Abdi was still deeply engrossed in a game of soccer on the village field with his friend Sutrisno. While they were playing, the freaking ball got tossed into the damn corn garden. Abdi and Sutrisno sprinted to grab the ball, and just when things couldn't get any crazier, the sky started turning darker than a black hole. Abdi was like, "Bro, we gotta bounce, it's getting sketchy out here." But Sutrisno was all like, "Nah, I'm good, let's keep playing." Out of nowhere, they heard this eerie voice saying, "Yo, Abdi, Sutrisno, is this your ball or what?" The voice was coming from the freaking teak forest, and when they turned around, they laid eyes on a girl with hair longer than Rapunzel's, rocking a raggedy white dress and holding their precious ball. What the hell is going on here? The girl bolted into the damn forest, even though their ball had landed in a damn cornfield. Sutrisno and Abdi, with lightning-fast reflexes, sprinted after her. Sutrisno took the lead, leaving Abdi in the dust. The girl bolted into the damn forest like her life depended on it, even though their ball had landed in the freaking cornfield. Sutrisno and Abdi, without missing a beat, sprinted after her. Sutrisno took the lead, leaving poor Abdi in the dust for a hot minute. When Abdi finally caught up, he witnessed a horrifying scene. Sutrisno was already lying motionless on the ground. Abdi wailed and booked it home to spill the beans to his old man about what went down. Abdi's old man listened to his son's tale with a mix of shock and awe and wasted no time spreading the word to the entire damn village. They all banded together like some sort of superhero squad and ventured into the mystical forest to hunt down Sutrisno. But when they reached the exact spot Abdi had blabbered about, there was nada, zilch, zero. Lo and behold, just a couple of days later, a local stumbled upon Sutrisno's lifeless body floating down the river. What the hell happened in that forest? Knowing the condition of Sutrisno's body, Sutrisno's parents were furious and accused Abdi as the perpetrator. However, some residents defended Abdi, believing that the child the woman Abdi saw was a ghostly figure called SUMALA, who has haunted their village and may have taken the life of a child named Sutrisno. The story of SUMALA begins in 1948. At that time, there was a rich couple named Mr. Sujiman and Mrs. Sulastri, who has been married for 11 years, but has not been blessed with children. Without as far as her husband, Mrs. Sulastri, went to a shaman and undergoing rituals to get pregnant. Not long after the ritual, she became pregnant twin girls, and a couple it was very happy. However, their happiness disappeared when seeing that one of the children they have that physique scary. Mr. Sujiman, with dark eyes, throwing away children who don't, that's normal, so there's only one child that remained and was named Kumala. However, Kumala grew up with mental retardation, making people his parents felt embarrassed. The only person who loves Kumala as a maid them, Sum. When Kumala turned 8 years old, began to exhibit strange behavior. During the day, he looked normal, but at night, he becomes aggressive, even once tried to stab his father. Sum has also seen Kumala eating live chickens, and when asked, Kumala always answered, "I wasn't the one who did it, Mbok, but SUMALA." At the age of 9, Kumala ran away from home because he wanted to play with village children. However, kids, in fact, he bullied him while shouting at him as a child demon. Kumala came home with feelings sad and vengeful. A few days then, one of the children who his bully was found dead nearby well. The deaths were followed by disappearances. Several other children also bullied Kumala. Their bodies were found inside. There is no life in the area around the garden. Mr. Sujiman's corn made residents accused Pak Sujiman of being the culprit. No. Mr. Sujiman asked Kumala about the incident. Kumala answered while crying, "Not me, sir. That Miss Sumala did it because they were mean to me." Mr. Sujiman is confused, go to a shaman to looking for answers. Before leaving, he asked his assistant, Mr. Sukir, to lock Kumala in a room so she wouldn't blurry. A few days later, when Pak Sujiman came home, he found Pak Sukir and his wife was helpless. Kumala appears and attacked Mr. Sujiman. He's hurt, but managed to escape. Inhabitant who came because they heard a voice, the gong thought it was Mr. Sujiman's house robbed. However, they just found the bodies of Mr. Sukir and Mrs. Sulastri without Kumala. They too starting to think that Kumala might be kidnapped by robbers. A few days after the death of Mr. Sujiman, Mimbok Sum finally opened secrets about the rituals carried out by Mrs. Sulastri, because in the past it was difficult for Mrs. Sulastri to have children, and without Mr. Sujiman's knowledge, she made a pact with the devil. To have offspring, Mbok Sum also said that was wrong. One child conceived by Mrs. Sulastri actually belongs to the devil, and the child was named Sumala. It is said that the shaman once said something to Mrs. Sulastri to take care of Sumala and Kumala's two children, because after they turn 10 years old, the devil will take Sumala to their world and Kumala can stay with Mrs. Sulastri and Mr. Sujiman. That's what the shaman said. But because the message was not conveyed to Mr. Sujiman, he ended up killing the child who, the abnormality was Sumala. And finally, Sumala took over Kumala's body instead because her agreement had been violated. So, in this village, they put a ban on playing after sunset to keep the kids safe from this spooky figure named Sumala. And guess what? Even now, Sumala is like this scary legend in the village. Some folks even leave offerings to keep Sumala away. Creepy, right?